Hi guys, it's me, Subi Sadir, and this is Telling It My Way, and I absolutely hate that little hump right there where that braid is. Like, oh God, I hate it. So I'm gonna have to hold the camera like this. But this is Subi Sadir with Telling It My Way, the absolute only way that matters. And I know that my first video about Miss Candace Owens, you guys said that it was choppy, so you asked for me to redo the segment. So here I am, ready to give you what you're looking for. Hey, I wanted to. Right now, everybody's really upset with Candace, and she said some very ignorant statements. And my feelings toward it is that she is just very confused. I think that a flawed system has her feeling like the only way to be successful is to go with majority. But that is what our system does, right? So before we get into the foundation of Candace Owens and her ignorant comments, I wanted to cover just like a mass understanding. You know, we've been in those situations before, and when I say we, I mean as Black people. The reason I say as Black people is because I can't include other people because I don't know what it's like to be those ones. So before anybody say, all you do is say for Black people, well, I don't know how to say us Mexicans and Dominicans and us Iranians and stuff because I can only say what us is. Okay. I think we've all been in at one point in time where you go to a company and you try to hang with the white people. When you see that some shit is racist, you either try to sometimes distance yourself from other Blacks. I've done that before. I have when I can tell that it's a lot on the line. You don't want to be known for associating with the ghetto people because you get caught up in what people think as well, right? So, and that's just us on a lower level. But as you progress to a higher level, shit gets more intense. So let's talk about Candace Owens. Candace Owens was raised by her grandparents. Whatever went on with Candace's mom and dad, I don't know if they were on drugs. I don't know what happened. But she was raised by her grandparents. And I believe it's the grandparents on her dad's side. Her grandparents, they were old, as grandparents are. And they were in North Carolina. I guess they came into some money or something, but they ended up moving to Connecticut into a predominantly white neighborhood. It's already bad enough when you are the poorest one in regular school. But now when you got money, but you still don't have as much money as the ones at the school that you're in, and now you're Black, that just, I could only imagine what that brings forth. And on top of that, I don't know if she was smart or very witty. I know that she did not go to college. She does not have a college degree. But going through school, she suffered from racism and racial attacks, right? So she was the skinny girl. And like I said yesterday, her hair some people's hair just don't grow. But her hair don't grow. She don't gain weight. You know, it just stopped. So she living with her grandparents. She don't have anybody to dress her. You know how your grandma and them be trying to dress you. Hell, we went to church. So she's in this school and she doesn't fit in, right? Her senior year, the mayor, of the town, his son and his son's friends were calling, leaving death threats, threatening to kill her, calling her names. You know the same. Go to Africa. You know what we hear. We hear it all the time. Everybody want to tell us to go back to Africa. Well, shit, will you go back to your country too and you can give us a ride like you gave us a ride over here on your way back home, okay? But she heard those names, so they filed a lawsuit against the school, right? And they got like $30-something thousand, okay? So now she's filed this lawsuit. She's, graduating high school. And she's dealing with being the only black. And now you have the nerve to be the only black, and you trying to stand up for black people? Have you lost your fucking mind? And on top of that, she fit that stereotype, where you're not raised by your mom and daddy. Was your mom in jail? Is your daddy in jail? Do you know who your daddy is? She got that going. You know what I'm saying? By Leander. So she has that going as well. Okay? She didn't become a Republican until Trump decided to run. She did work at Prague, or is it Prague University, where they teach you how to be a conservative. They teach you to be a Republican. They help polish you, per se. I think that when she branched out and got over there, I think the pressure was too much for her. And she became what she hated. She became the one who attacked her. She became the person that victimized her. She wanted to fit in. I think that when you want to make it, like when you really want to do well at something, when you have a lot of passion for it and you want to work hard to do something and you can't achieve it because you're black, and you know that it's because you're black, you go through the different avenues of trying to see where you can fit in. Right? She's early 30s. I think she just didn't have any direction. I think that she was with her grandparents, and with them being from North Carolina and them talking about the Ku Klux Klan and them talking about, just everything that the Klan members did and how they, overcame it. Well, she didn't have a group of black people around her to tell her, this is how we get over this shit, and this is what we do to get past it. All she had is probably going home and dealing with her grandparents, who just like, it'll be all right, it'll be fine. They talked about Jesus Christ, sticks and stones, and, all that shit. And she started to hate who she was, because she does have an identity crisis, and she definitely hates to identify as black. Trump comes out. She turns into a conservative. She turns into a Republican. And what I want to say, because I know everybody hates what Candace said, right? And you hate what she represents. I don't like her little skinny ass that much either. But I'm not going to act like I don't understand where she lost her way at. I won't act like I don't get it. Because I know a lot of you who, when you go to work, you turn your rap music down when you get in the parking lot. I know a lot of you who will change it to try to act like you listen to country. I know a lot of you who like to say stuff like, I love Britney Spears, or I love Gretchen Wilson, and you just naming all these white people because you at that moment is trying to fit in. I don't really like rap music. I know a lot of you who, when you at work, you only talk to white people. And you hood as a motherfucker later on. So, I'm saying, you can't act like you don't know why she does it. Don't act like you don't see in corporate America how black people, they feel like they can't all sit together and at the, in the break room and talk. Black people feel like they gotta sit one over here and one over there and maybe two right here, and you use your new voice. Hi! Oh my God, that's amazing. When black people want to try to talk about Starbucks all the time, and you looking like you don't really like no motherfucking Starbucks. But you need your job. And you want to be great. Now, Candace just went too goddamn far. But the higher up she climbs, the more she's doing. And it's like she does not see that she's just being used. She's a puppet. She says what they can't say. They can't come out here and call us that N-word, or they can't come out here and, call us thugs and say we ain't no martyr and all this type of shit. But if we're going to be honest, y'all gonna come for me strong. Ooh. First of all, some people will take any attention they can get. Negative attention, positive attention, it doesn't matter. She's trying to get that attention, okay? And she's doing it because racism is so real. And it's so many people that are racist and that don't look like us that really support her. And she's just a puppet. I think that she's truly confused and she's forgot who she is. Because you already talking about shit and you just decided you was going to be conservative like 5 years ago. Girl, sit down. Okay? You refuse to put any edge control on that hair. Stop that. Some shit you just can't just not do. And not brushing with that brush. This what it is. That's what it is. But I remember one time I had a friend that was white and she looked at the hairbrush that we use and she said, that looks like a horse brush. At the time, I'd never seen a horse brush. I just knew that this is the brush that we use. And then she showed the brush that she uses. And I didn't have a problem with what she said about the brush until everybody laughed. You know. And then it was like, exactly why some of you now chooses to think that you have a better type of hair if you use that brush. We can't act like we don't know what she's doing. The men, I get it. They may be all over the place. Because right now, black men, you guys can go and just flirt with all of the white women and you gonna get ahead. So we don't even worry about y'all. Y'all be all right. But us, really? And on top of that, she brown. It is what it is. It's just not popping off. You know what I'm saying? So she hates her identity. She goes out. She got this white dude from the UK. She's skinny. You know, her body just basic. She just didn't have a lot. And I can see her getting picked on. Because a lot of my friends that were really skinny were always getting picked on. Even my friends with like big booties and stuff was getting picked on. Like we were just kids. But if you were around a bunch of white kids, you really don't know that you would still get picked on. You just wouldn't be called those type of names anywhere. That's what happens when you're young. Her dad is actually out here in Arizona. And yeah, that's it. Think about trying to be better and wanting to be more. And it's time to go to your conferences and you need to go to the school and you need to do this and you need to do that. And not only are you black, but you're black and you don't have anyone to come and represent you. You don't have your parents to come. And you don't, you know, when your mom comes in there, what does your mom and dad have on? Oh, they don't come. So it's your grandma coming in there. It's your granddaddy coming in there. They're old and they're conditioned and they were a part of a different type of racism. So they're really not standing up for you. They don't really know any better, you know. They grew up wearing like, you know, the worst clothes ever. So they feel like you should be happy with whatever they give you because, you know, it was different when I was growing up. That type of shit. So she got this white guy and she's moved to, and I think he's some type of British royalty. I'm not for certain with him, but I do know that she has become so, I know what she's trying to say, but her delivery is so off. She's wanting to educate and say, well, black people need to stop being Democrats. Black people need to stop asking for a handout. Black people need to stop this. Baby, that's all people. That's not just black people. You know, and anything that she says is going to be just magnified. And then you have Trump and he's retweeting her. I mean, the president of the United States, even if you call him orange or Cheeto dust or whatever, he retweets her. He's one of her biggest fans. She got married in his little vineyard. You know what I'm saying? And she had to sell her soul to get this little type of success that she has. But I can't say that in a younger state, we have not also been trying to shy away from who we are to get ahead. You know what I'm saying? With her, you know how you don't wear certain hairstyles to work because you don't want them to think you're ghetto? Do you know how you won't dye your hair a color that you really want to because you don't want them to think you're ghetto? You don't want to laugh loud. You don't want to be loud because you don't want them to think that you're ghetto. And when you try to distance yourself from the people at work who are comfortable with who they are, when you see those black women and they comfortable being just baby whatever, chewing they gum, but you act like, why are they doing that over here? Because remember what our grandparents used to say, you're just giving the white people something to talk about. So when you're around them, you act completely different than who you really are. So now when you see someone who's comfortable being who they are, you get slightly insecure. Okay? We've all had a little touch, just a little tiny touch, just baby little piece. But Candace is saying the shit that they told us we don't say in public. Okay? Now she doing too damn much. She do, hey, wait a minute. Didn't your grandma and them didn't tell you we don't talk in front of company? Didn't your grandma and them tell you what we say in this house, stay in this house? What is you getting all out and in front of people and doing such and such for? But I think that she just wanted to fit in so bad that she thought that was the only way. Because everything that she has achieved at this point, she wouldn't have been retweeted by the president had she not been the way that she is. She's very young. She's like early 30s, and she's completely lost. I don't see any black people around her. I don't see anyone to help her come back down here. Girl, come over here, and the first thing we gonna do is get some edge control on that. You know what I'm saying? We don't see any of that. She has no one, and she's constantly burning her bridges to where she can't come back because she's saying some shit. And you know how we get, I mean, when you said blah, blah, blah. And the reason I say it is because I was looking at some of her tweets, and every now and again that hood come out of her. Because I saw one tweet, she was like, y'all got me fucked up, try me, bitch. I was like, oh, you tough now. You tough. You better go scare somebody that don't look like you, because we is not motherfucking scared of you. But she can talk that shit because she's all the way in fucking UK some fucking where. You know what I'm saying? And to make matters even worse, when it comes to losing yourself and not knowing who you are, I just think that she's just out there lost. Like, completely just lost. I know that when I talk to certain audiences, I have to change my accent depending on who I'm speaking to. I know on different pages, I come at them with a different type of content. So I don't like who she is, but I can say that I know what she was trying to do, and I think it just spiraled out of control. Like, the shit just took off. I think that she's embarrassed of her background, but baby, you need to know that black people are not the only ones that have parents that they are ashamed of or embarrassed by. Everybody has them. They only talk about the black people that had it. You know, coming from the South is just so different, right? It's almost like you have nothing of your own, but you used to. We just don't know how to get it back. You know, we had the Black Wall Street, but let's talk about something on a smaller scale, like in your neighborhoods, when you had your grocery stores, when you had your post office down there, your libraries, your universities, you had everything that you needed in your neighborhood. But what happened is you were spending, well, our grandparents, of course, were spending their money in their neighborhood. And that's so much power and so much control that they took that from us, right? Made it harder to get business loans, harder to get your supplies, burn down your properties. If they burned down your property and they made it hard to get another loan, you kind of just stuck out. You know what I'm saying? So now you got to go to their area to spend your money in their area. Come shop and spend your money here, but don't live here. And it's the same shit that's happening still today. You know, our streets were flooded, and we spoke about this lightly yesterday, but the economy and the black neighborhood, the black markets were flooded with drugs, you know, back when Reagan took over. It was the end of the one before him turned. Who was before Reagan? I don't know. Whoever was before Reagan, and then Reagan came, they flooded it with drugs, right? And they flooded the neighborhoods with guns. Black people, we couldn't even buy shit. So how was we going to get all these guns and all these drugs? That was flooded purposely by the government. This shit is factual, okay? And then they were called, what, crackheads, drug addicts, prostitutes, they hoes. Then you can put them in prison. Just a lot of shit that was going on. And then when it happens now, and we have the opioid crisis, well, at this point, that's they sick. It's a health condition. Everybody and their mama want to help it. We can't have these people out here. Oh, what are they going to do? Let's help them. Let's manage it. Those are the things that happens. You know. So thank you, Stephen, Jimmy Carter. We have to do our part. And it's easy to sit back and look and say, I hate this motherfucker. I hate that one over there. I don't like this one. But that doesn't get anything done. Because honestly, depending on who you are, your insults mean nothing. Nothing. And with everybody just sitting back saying, you know, we don't like her and you got to have something powerful coming behind that. You know, the white reporter Tommy, she's always talking about black people. That's the only way she can get ahead, is talking about Beyonce, Jay-Z, just whatever she has to say about racism. Why? Because when she says it, people get so mad, and all you can say is, that's a bitch and she's stupid and I hate her, but you never come back and hit her with anything else that's factual. You can just say, I hate her, and then somebody say, well, why do you hate her? And you say, well, that's because the bitch always talks shit. Okay, that argument won't hold up in a more polished room or group of people. And just like my live right now, we're talking about Candace, and I can't really hold the attention of my audience. If I start talking about Goatman Mama, then it's like boom, 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 boom. My shit is crazy. But that's what it is. Like, that's just what happens. The more money you make, the more you try to maintain your money. The more money you make and the harder you work, you start to look around and see why everybody else ain't working this hard. I don't understand why I'm the only one working this hard. Ain't nobody else working this hard, but they seem to have more fun than me. Don't get caught up into the things that she says. We need to focus on the why is she saying it, and where is this disconnect that she has. Because there is a disconnect. There's a disconnect, and it's from something much more than just wanting to get some attention. You know, if you could have chosen your own childhood, would you have chosen the one that you had? She's disconnected. She's lost her identity. And she may get it back, she may not, but when they tired of dealing with her and they get tired of using her and she's no longer needed to call black people names, she gonna have to come on back over here, and then we're going to have to go on and, you know, get that edge control, get somebody to make a real nice lace front, you know, maybe a 360, you know, teach her what she needs to eat to get that weight on her. You know, no, we'll help her out. We'll help her out. But she's just lost. And I say that because we have to stop giving so much attention into what she says. Have to. Because she's just getting like out of control. So that's my view on Candace. She just grew up she's embarrassed by who she is. And you can't change who you are. Like, we can't. It's some shit that happened in my life and that I don't talk about at all. I can't change it, but I still don't like it, if you know what I'm saying. She just needs to understand that it's not just black people, but the world has made it seem that way. You know, that's all it is. But she'll be okay. They're not gonna keep her. She won't be there for long. She'll be back hanging out, marching. She gonna be with Al Sharpton next, walking around with her sign, and with him hollering, "Y'all been had your knees on our necks." That's why we can't, cause you got your knees on the neck with his little skinny ass, looking like George Jefferson. That's really all I wanted to touch base on with Miss Candace Owens, and I really hope she does not respond, cause she do like to respond. I really hope she won't respond, but if she does, it's gonna be a problem, because all of her conservative and Republican friends will be responding. I already have people leaving comments under that old video, and they didn't like it. But my people don't leave comments. My people don't even watch the whole video. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like sometimes I get out there and I'm stuck by myself, because mine is not fit to argue all day in the comments with somebody. Mine not gonna leave. I can put share, please do this. It's not gonna go nowhere. So it is sometimes a little disturbing, but I accept it anyway. Hope you guys have a good night. I am going to jump off of this and upload it and get that all updated, and hopefully we can talk again later. You be awesome.